Hello and welcome back to Wicked Tech Street. This week I'm going to show you how to install PIHOLE on Rockey Linux. Now, PIHOLE is very similar to RHEL or CentOS. Basically, Rockey Linux is based off of RHEL Linux without the Red Hat branding. So without further ado, let's get started. Now this is a clean install, so the first thing we want to do is go ahead and make sure it's updated. Now this will take a little bit of time to update depending on your current installation, whether it's out of date by quite a bit or not. Alright, so now the installation, or it's been updated. We're going to add a repository. Alright, so now we need to add a lightweight HTTP server. Alright, so now there's two things we need to do. We need to disable Selinux. Now we're going to go in here down to where it says Selinux. This is currently set to enforcing. Now we have a couple options here. We can disable or we can set it to permissive. I'm going to set it to permissive because I may come back later and set a policy. Alright, so we also need to set a static IP. To find out what your interface name is, you type IP space A, and as you can see, my interface is this ENPS or ENP0S3. Now we need to set a static IP. There are a couple ways that we can do that. We can edit a text file, or we can also use the utility, which is what I'm going to use. Now just hit the down arrow and we're going to set the IPv6 interface to manual, and we'll click on show. We want to add our IP address, which is 192.168.1.17, and then we'll go ahead and set our gateway, and we're going to also set a couple DNS servers. Now you can set these DNS servers to whatever you want. These are just the ones that I'm choosing to use. Now we're pretty much done in there. The only thing we have to do now is just click OK to accept the configuration. Just always make sure when you're setting this that you set the IPv configuration to manual. Otherwise, it won't take the changes. Now for the Selinux to take effect, we have to reboot. So we're going to go ahead and reboot. after you reboot, if you're using a utility such as PuTTY, just make sure you change the IP. If not, if you're directly in the console, then you don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to save that and log back in. Alright, now we are ready to install PIHOLE, and I'm just going to copy and paste in the command. This is what it looks like. I did add this section here because PIHOLE is currently not supported directly, or not PIHOLE, sorry. Rockey Linux is not currently supported, so you do have to add that, and I will add that command in my notes as well. Now, it's just kind of giving you a warning here that you need a static IP and asking you if you want to continue. And in my case, I've already set that, and I'm going to go ahead and click yes. Now this is where you can select the Upstream DNS Server, and I'm going to just go ahead and select Open DNS, and then continue on. I'm going to accept the defaults here. Same thing with the web interface. I'm going to have that installed, and I'm also going to accept the defaults here as well, and set. Alright, so now our installation is done, and it's going to tell you where you can go to log into the admin interface, which is your IP/admin. And it does set a generic random password for you, which is that password right there for me. But I'm going to go ahead and change that because I don't want to memorize that, and I want to set my own IP, or my own password. So to do that, we'll type PIHOLE space -A -P. And then it will prompt us for our password that we want to use. Alright, now we've set that. We need to also open up some firewall rules, and I'm just going to copy and paste these in. I will also include these in the notes, but what these do is allow us to log into PIHOLE, because without those rules we won't be able to log in, and I'll just show you here real quick. And as you see, it won't load. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put in these rules, and then now you'll see when I come back up here, it is now indeed enabled. And then I'll just put in my password. I'm not going to save that. And this is kind of what our PIHOLE looks like. There's a lot of things you can do with the PIHOLE. You can set a local DNS records. You can also take advantage of, you can use it as a dhcp server. So it's a pretty flexible utility. But that's all I'm going to show you for today. I may, in future videos, secure this port, because this is not a secure port. We're using the default, which is not HTTPS. So at a later time, I'll probably release a video on how to do that. So thanks for watching. Like and subscribe.